What's going on, everybody? Charlie Anderson from Dreamworx Roofing. We're on site today of an installation of a new roof, and it's kind of a sad story. So this roof was put on 2, maybe 3 years ago, and as you can see from some of the pictures here, the roof was falling apart literally. These shingles, not these exact ones, but shingles just like these were installed on this roof 2 years ago, and they were ripping in two. So I want to explain today what proper nail placement is and why it's important when it comes to shingling a roof, especially shingling a roof with a pitch like the one that we have going on behind me. So to understand how to properly place a nail in a shingle, you kind of have to know the anatomy of a shingle in itself. So this is a shingle here, a standard architectural shingle, and this shingle is actually made in 2 parts. There's a top portion of the shingle, which is this right here, and there is a bottom portion of the shingle, which is this part right here. And where those 2 areas overlap is what we call the common bond area. And the common bond area means that when you're putting a nail through the shingle, it's in the commonly bonded area where the 2 pieces of shingle overlap. So I can get kind of close to you here and give you an idea of what I'm talking about. You can see here's your top part and here's your bottom part. And this little section right here in the middle is that common bond area. So that's one of the reasons we like an Owens Corning shingle, because we know if we're hitting this nail strip here, we know we're getting into our common bond area. So right in this little area, it's about 3/4 of an inch wide. So it's very difficult to hit, but we got to be mindful when you're placing your nails to hit that area, because fast forward a couple years, you can be on site of a roof like this and the shingles will literally pull apart. The top part will separate from the bottom part because it is not nailed through that common bond area. Gravity is always pulling down on this shingle, keeping this top part in place, and those 2 will eventually separate with the weight of all the shingles below them hanging off of them, and will start to tear those shingles apart. So when you're installing on a very steep pitch like this, parts of this roof are nearly 90 degrees, you have to think about all the shingles that fall below this one. Well, this shingle here is carrying the weight of all those shingles below it. So we have to do some special things when it comes to installation on a steep pitch like this. And if you can see our guys right up top there, they are caulking and sealing those shingles because just the weight of the nails alone through the common bond area may not be enough. So we want to go the extra step and make sure that we have a little extra grabbing power in each of the shingles to help support the load beneath it of all those shingles weighing down on those all the shingles from down below weighing down on the shingles from above. So it's a 3-part process here. It's making sure that your nails are placed in the common bond area so you have the maximum hold power on both parts of the shingle. It's installing with adhesive to also make sure those shingles are all nice and gripped together to help support the additional weight. And it's taking your time. You cannot rush a job like this, because when you do, you've seen the effects of it. You got to make sure each one of these nails is perfectly placed. You got to make sure that your overlaps are all correct, that you're following a proper stagger, and that you're being very careful around things like windows and doors and anything else that you might come across on a unique house like this. So this is a really cool installation. We don't get an opportunity to talk about some of the finer intricacies of roofing very often, but this is a shining example of, if you take your time and you follow the manufacturer specifications, understand the product that you're working with, shingles, understand where they need to be nailed, how they need to be nailed, and what you can do to help your job along. That's what's going to separate, the good roofing contractors from the great roofing contractors, and making sure that when you buy a roof that's supposed to last for 30 years, that you're getting as much life as you can out of it. So, I'm Charlie Anderson from Dreamworx Roofing. Thanks for watching this video. We'll see you on the next one. Boom.